The Galactic Coalition's military command center buzzed with activity. Dozens of species, each more advanced than the last, gathered around holographic displays showing troop positions, orbital movements, and weapon logistics. At the center of it all stood Commander Viral, a tall, crystalline being of the Kithari race. He tapped a claw against his translucent chin, amused by the data before him. Humans are sending projectile-based weapons to the battlefield? He scoffed. Kinetic slugs? Gunpowder? What are they? Cave dwellers. A ripple of laughter spread through the room. Species that had long abandoned physical munitions in favor of plasma, antimatter, and nanoweapons chuckled at the absurdity. The humans, newly inducted into the coalition after surviving a near-extinction event on their home planet, had offered their assistance in the war against the Drexy. The offer was accepted grudgingly as a formality, a nod to diplomacy. No one actually expected the humans to make a difference. No one except the humans themselves. On the contested planet of Horzal Prime, the battlefield stretched across a dust-scorched valley. Coalition troops, armored in shimmering energy shields, held the line alongside humans in matte-colored exosuits. The Drexy had descended from orbit with their usual ferocity. 10-foot insectoid brutes with razor-edged limbs and impenetrable chitin. Private Malik Hayes from Earth's 7th Rapid Reaction Battalion crouched in a trench, cradling what looked like an oversized, old-fashioned rifle. His fellow soldiers prepped crates of ammunition while whistling classic rock tunes. A Zalorian officer from the Coalition's support unit hovered nearby, observing curiously. "You realize your projectiles won't penetrate Drexy carapace," the Zalorian said. "Their armor disperses energy. Your weapons will simply bounce off." Malik didn't look up. "Who said anything about bouncing?" The Zalorian tilted its head. "You're not using plasma or lasers. Just lead? That's your great plan." Malik smiled, flipping a switch on his rifle. "Not just lead. Depleted uranium tungsten sabos with smart-guided magnetic bursts. Old tech, new twist." Another human down the line chambered around. The mechanical clack-chunk echoed through the trench like a war drum. Then the Drexy charged. The first wave came fast, hundreds of them screaming through the valley. Coalition troops fired plasma volleys that splashed harmlessly against Drexy armor. Energy shields fizzled and failed. Panic rippled through the ranks. Then came the sound. Thump, crack, whumph. From the human line, sharp cracks of gunfire rang out. Distinct, physical, almost rude in their brutality. One Drexy warrior's head snapped back and exploded in a mist of green. Another dropped mid-leap, half its torso ripped clean off. The bullets didn't sizzle. They shattered. Armor cracked like eggshells. Internal organs ruptured on impact. The Drexy faltered. Coalition observers gaped as the humans calmly picked off targets with disciplined bursts, using centuries-old firing tactics adapted for modern tracking gear and atmospheric data feeds. Every shot counted. Every shot worked. What kind of weapon is that?" gasped a stunned Varaxi officer. "Just a gun," said Malik, loading a fresh mag. "But we never stopped perfecting it." By nightfall, the humans had held their ground. Drexy corpses littered the field, their thick hides no match for high-density kinetic rounds paired with human precision and ruthless adaptability. Coalition medics, once dismissive, now hurried to copy human trauma kits. A group of Zalorian engineers was already requesting blueprints for the human rifles. Back at the Coalition Command Center, silence hung over the room. Holograms flickered uncertainly. Commander Viral stared at the battlefield report in disbelief. "They lost 1,000 Drexy in one engagement," he said. "To primitive firearms?" An aide corrected him. "To optimized human ballistics platforms, sir. Their weapons combine traditional kinetic impact with chemical propellant shockwaves and electromagnetic acceleration. They've also developed specialized ammo that—" Viral waved a claw. "I don't care what they call them. They shouldn't work. Not against modern armor." The aide hesitated. "Respectfully, sir." "They do." On Horzal Prime, Malik and his unit walked the battlefield, recovering dog tags and marking survivors. A Drexy warlord, somehow still alive, lay pinned under rubble. He hissed at Malik through broken mandibles. "What are you?" it choked. Malik crouched beside it, unbothered. "We're just humans. You laughed at our weapons. That was your first mistake." He stood, resting the rifle on his shoulder. "You assumed primitive meant weak. But see, while the rest of the galaxy evolved upward, we evolved forward. More efficient, more lethal, less mercy." He walked off without another word. By the following week, human weapon schematics were being passed around like contraband. Coalition engineers began retrofitting their vehicles with human-style kinetic cannons. Commanders rewrote tactical doctrines, and every coalition soldier was suddenly requesting a human rifle in their kit. The Drexy, once unstoppable, had found their match not in plasma, not in antimatter, but in gunpowder and grit. The Galactic Council gathered weeks later to review the warfront's progress. As usual, they began with laughter at human culture. Old habits die hard. Until the first hologram flickered to life. A Drexy dreadnought, obliterated in orbit by a single railgun slug the size of a school bus. The laughter stopped. Commander Viral spoke softly. "We thought them primitive. We were wrong." And somewhere in the back of the chamber, a human ambassador leaned in and said, with a grin, "We told you not to laugh. Then we pulled the trigger."